You want the truth, the kind that snaps your spine straight and forces you to look at yourself without flinching. Here it is. The number one mistake men make in seduction is chasing validation instead of leading experience. Most men enter interactions trying to be chosen. They perform, they please, they sell themselves, they hover at the edge of her attention, waiting for a sign that says, approved. And when you chase approval, you hand over your power. Your frame collapses, your words lose weight. The tension that creates attraction bleeds out of the moment. If what you've heard so far is shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end, because we're just getting started. You feel the difference immediately when you stop auditioning and start leading. Leading is not barking commands or forcing outcomes. Leading is deciding the tone of the interaction, setting the pace, offering a direction, and letting her relax into your certainty. Women don't fall for neediness. They respond to grounded presence. Presence means your attention is here, in your body, noticing sensations, breath, eye contact, micro-expressions. Approval-seeking rips you out of your body into your head. You overthink, overshare, overreact. Leading drops you back into your shoulders, your breath, your anchor. You don't try to convince, you let your energy confirm. Look closely at your behavior in the first seconds you meet a woman you want. Do you become faster, louder, more agreeable? Do you scramble for common ground, rush to say something impressive, fill silence before it can expose you? That's the nervous system hunting for validation. Slow yourself down by 5 to 10%. Lower your shoulders, relax your jaw, pause before speaking. Let your eyes settle on hers long enough to register warmth without grasping. This tiny recalibration communicates what words cannot. You're not here to chase, you're here to relate. Women feel the subtext of your intention before they decode your sentences. If your subtext says, "Please like me," every move you make will ring with insecurity. When your subtext says, "I like me and I'm curious about you," she will lean toward your world. This is the quiet secret of seduction. You shift from impressing to inviting, from performing to provoking sensation. You do that with your frame. Frame is the meaning you project onto the moment and the rules you live by inside it. If your frame is, "I hope she gives me a chance," you've already lost tension. Change it to, "I'm offering an experience, she's free to join." Now your words carry gravity. You craft experience through pacing. Pacing is how you move the interaction from stranger to familiar, to charged without jumping steps. Men destroy attraction by sprinting past comfort into escalation, or by camping in comfort until interest dies. Learn the rhythm. Early on, you stabilize the moment with simple, unhurried presence. You notice her earrings, the faint citrus in her perfume, the rhythm of her voice. You mirror lightly, not to please, but to sync. Then you introduce play. Offer a teasing observation, a subtle challenge, a calibrated push-pull that invites her to feel. When her eyes brighten or her posture opens, you reward with warmth, not gushing validation. This is the dance. Invite, sense, respond, lead. The fastest way to break the validation addiction is to set rules for yourself that protect your frame under pressure. Rule 1. Never explain yourself to earn approval. If she tests you, "Do you always talk like that?" Smile and say, "Only when I'm this awake." No defending, no backstory, no long justification. Rule 2. Answer questions like a man who already belongs in the room. If she says, "What do you do?" Give a concise, concrete answer and pivot into curiosity. "I build things. Right now, a project I like is helping a team launch a wellness app." "What do you spend your best energy on lately?" Rule 3. If you catch yourself performing, stop, breathe, and slow the pace by half a beat. Reset now. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Seduction is sensory. That means you create an atmosphere she can feel. Your voice does half the work. Speak from your chest, not your throat. End sentences decisively, not upward like a question seeking permission. Keep your gestures compact, deliberate. Let silence be part of your vocabulary. Most men fear silence because it exposes nerves. Use silence to let your last sentence sink in, to let her speak into the space, to make the unspoken electricity audible. When you hold a calm, tension-filled pause, you telegraph that you're comfortable with desire and uncertainty. Two forces that make women come alive. Tension is not an accident, it's engineered through contrast. Contrast is the switch between warm and teasing, direct and playful, explicit and implied. Imagine saying, "I like how you don't rush your words. It makes me want to listen closer." That's warmth. Then with a smirk, "Dangerous skill, though. You could make a habit of distracting me." That's a tease. The warmth invites her to relax. The tease sparks her alertness. The alternation creates an emotional current. Keep it gentle early on. Too much sarcasm too soon reads as defensive. But avoid blandness. Blandness is the death of interest. A bland man is safe, but forgettable. Everything gets easier when you adopt a simple belief. You are the party. This doesn't mean you're loud or flashy. It means your energy is already full before she arrives. You're not scanning for completion. You're extending an invitation from abundance. How do you embody that? By living a life you enjoy independent of outcomes. That shows up in micro behaviors: how you stand, how you order coffee, how you look at the world. A man with a full life is not negotiating for crumbs of attention. He's choosing where to invest his focus. And when a woman feels chosen, not harvested for validation, respect rises. Respect breaks resistance. Resistance thrives on sniffing out weakness. Let's make this precise. When you approach, your goal is not to win her over. Your goal is to establish a clean, confident connection and let polarity breathe. Start strong and simple. "Hey, couldn't let the moment pass. I'm your name." Steady eye contact, half smile, relaxed shoulders. If she engages, you stay grounded. If she's neutral, you explore lightly. You have the kind of focus people don't fake. What's got your attention today? You're not interrogating. You're inviting her inner world forward. If she's short, you never plead or push. You either add a playful frame, "All right, mysterious, I can work with that," or you release the moment with grace. "Good to meet you. Carry on." Your power is your willingness to walk. Men sabotage themselves with compliments designed to buy affection. Instead of "you're so beautiful," which she's heard 1,000 times from men trying to purchase a reaction, calibrate, and personalize, that shade of blue is doing dangerous things for your eyes. Specific, embodied, brief. Or better, compliment her energy, not her features. You have a composed way of taking space. It's rare. The point is not to impress her with poetry. It's to signal that you notice at a higher resolution than average men. Precision breeds intrigue. Overpraise breeds suspicion. Another common failure, over-disclosure. You feel a flicker of connection and you unload your history. Attraction thrives in a field of gradually unveiled depth. Give small windows into who you are and let her pull for more. Share a vivid detail instead of a resume. Saturday mornings are non-negotiable. Strong espresso, hardcover, phone off. You anchor yourself as a man with taste and boundaries. Then pivot back to her. What's a ritual you get possessive about? People bond over rituals because rituals reveal values without a lecture. When she shares, listen like it matters. Then tease, "Good answer, but you're hiding your favorite one." This plants a hook for later. Texting is where many men pour gasoline on their need for validation. They chase dopamine with constant messages and memes. Your texts should extend curiosity, set frames, and move toward logistics. Early on, you keep messages short and vivid. You, me, Thursday, 5-minute detour to the bookstore that smells like cedar. Then coffee. You give a clear path. If she's interested but busy, you don't spiral. You adjust and lead again. If she's vague, you keep your dignity. No rush. When your schedule stops misbehaving, I'll still be coffee-worthy. You never punish or pout. A man who can decline a loop of low-energy texting for the promise of high-quality time is rare. Rarity is magnetism. Boundaries might be the most attractive signal you can send without saying a word. Boundary is not rigidity. It's self-respect expressed in decisions. If she cancels last minute, you say, "Happens. Let's try again. But I keep plans tight. Give me a day that will behave." You don't lash out, you don't beg. You reinforce your standard. When she tests you, and she will, you respond with play and poise. If she throws a light jab, you smile. "Keep testing me. I grade on a curve, but it's steep." If she escalates disrespect, you step away. Attraction without respect is chaos disguised as chemistry. You're not available for chaos. There's a subtle shift that will change your results fast. Stop asking, "How do I get her?" Start asking, "What experience do I want to create, and who joins me there?" The moment you create a compelling micro-world, your humor, your tastes, your pace, you position yourself as the chooser. Not because you think you're above anyone, but because you know your value. When you ask better questions, you take better actions. You'll notice that you naturally move conversations where you want them to go, toward plans, toward environments that bring out your best, toward moments that test compatibility. Leadership is direction. Direction is attractive. Polarity is the charge between your masculine decisiveness and her feminine openness to feeling. You generate polarity by making clear offers and letting her choose. "I'm heading out in 10. Join me for a quick walk to reset the day." That's an offer. "Maybe we could hang sometime if you want?" That's a plea. You don't hide your desire. You let it breathe without pressure. You look her in the eyes and hold the look a fraction past comfort. You let your hand brush hers and then withdraw first, leaving a ghost of sensation that invites her to come forward. You move close when the moment calls for it, and you ease away before you flood the circuits. This is how you tune the dial instead of just cranking the volume. Remember, you are not trying to convince a woman. You are trying to discover the truth, whether the two of you resonate. Truth-seeking creates calm. When you chase, you distort reality. When you lead, you reveal it. Pay attention to the signals she sends with her body before you escalate. Head tilt, feet pointed toward you, pupils dilating, playful interruptions, the softening of her voice. Those are green lights. Crossed arms, short answers, scanning the room, phone checks are yellow or red. Respect the light. When you honor pacing, you amplify safety. Safety is not boring. Safety is the container that lets tension expand. One of the most powerful moves is the reframe. When a conversation slides into cliché, jobs, hometowns, generic fluff, you redirect to the undercurrent. Everyone asks what you do. "I'm more curious about when you feel most alive." She will pause because few men ask her for truth. When she answers, she reveals identity-level values. That's where attraction deepens. You reciprocate with a clean, contained share, then you lace it with a tease. "We might get along too well." Dangerous. The reframe transforms a dead end into a door. Humor, used with precision, unlocks doors. Neediness can't open. The key is playfulness anchored in presence, not clowning for approval. If she teases your shirt, you glance down, nod once, then deadpan, "It picked me." If she gives a strong opinion, you raise an eyebrow. "I like the conviction." Dangerous in the right hands. Your humor suggests you're unshakable. A man who laughs at himself lightly signals deep security. But avoid self-deprecation that begs for reassurance. Use humor to lighten the air, not to puncture your presence. Your physicality matters more than you think. Posture that stacks your head over your spine, shoulders open, feet planted hip-width apart, signals competence without a word. Slow the fidgeting. Orient your torso toward her when you're engaged and occasionally lean back to reset the space. Touch is a language. Speak it with sensitivity. Early, keep it incidental and brief, guiding her through a doorway with the back of your hand. A quick touch on the elbow when you emphasize a point. Watch her response. If she leans in or touches back, you've been invited to expand. If she withdraws, you ease the pace. Your calibration communicates more about your character than any speech. Logistics are seduction's unsung hero. Choose environments that do half the work for you, places with warmth, texture, and natural movement. A coffee spot with a bar to stand at before sitting. A small bookstore where you can wander. A park path that invites side-by-side walking. Moving through space together lowers defenses and creates shared momentum. Sitting face-to-face interrogating each other across a table is the enemy of desire. Desire grows when attention shifts between eye contact and the world, between words and sensation. Escalation is a staircase, not a leap. You move from eye contact to smiles to light touch to shared asides to closer proximity. At each step, you pause and read the response. Consent is not just a word, it's an atmosphere. When your leadership is tuned to her signals, she relaxes and opens. If you blow past cues because you're desperate for confirmation, you'll trigger recoil. You avoid this by staying with your breath, noticing her breath, letting silence test the moment. If it's right to kiss, you'll feel the air thicken. Your eyes will drop to her lips, then return to her eyes. You'll move slowly, give her time to meet you halfway. Rushing is validation hunting. Patience is power. Scarcity mentality poisons your game. When you believe this one interaction must work, you tense up. And tension without intention is repellent. Build a pipeline that keeps you in abundance. Expand your social circles, join communities, cultivate friendships that introduce you to multi-layered women. Live a life that constantly puts you in motion. Fitness, creative work, travel, events you actually enjoy. When you're meeting women as a byproduct of a life you love, you bring curiosity rather than pressure. Curiosity is contagious. Pressure kills play. There's a deeper layer, your relationship to rejection. Most men make rejection a verdict on their value. That's what traps you in validation loops. Rejection is often logistics, timing, style mismatch. When you take it personally, you contort yourself to win strangers. Every time you contort, you train your nervous system to betray you. Stop. Give rejection a new meaning, useful data. If she declines, you can either sharpen or redirect. Either way, you stay open. All good. If we cross paths again, I'll try to distract you better. You hold lightness and dignity. The man with dignity worries no one. He's dangerous in the most attractive way. You'll notice a recurring theme. Decisions. Decide your pace. Decide your environment. Decide your standards. Decide your attention. The man who decides lives with less noise in his head. Noise is the enemy of masculine polarity. To kill noise, use pre-commitments. Commit to opening 3 conversations when you go out, regardless of outcome. Commit to exchanging contact only when the conversation has hit a moment of genuine spark. Commit to never texting past midnight. Commit to early, decisive plans. These small constraints create freedom because they save you from your weaker impulses. When you do this consistently, you become memorable without trying. Most men leave no imprint because they never risk clarity. You will risk it. You will say, "I find you compelling." You will say, "Let's escape for 15 minutes." You will say, "This deserves a second round. Wednesday works for me." You don't bury desire under snark or blur it with vagueness. You let it be seen with clean edges. The paradox: when you stop hiding your interest, you feel less needy. Neediness is hidden desire begging for release. Mature desire is an offer with a backbone. What about tests? Tests are not attacks. They're requests for calibration. She asks if you always flirt like this. She pushes back on your statement. She delays confirming plans. Your job is not to beat the test, but to remain yourself while staying playful. "I don't always flirt like this. Sometimes I'm worse." Or, "Careful, I like women who keep me honest." Or, "Tell you what, when your schedule behaves, I'll reward it with the best cappuccino in a 3-block radius." You're not trapped in her frame. You keep offering yours. When you pass tests with easy poise, attraction compounds, a word about compliments when stakes are higher. Use them to amplify the moment you're in, not to fish for a reaction. "I like how you look at me when you disagree. The way you stand when you're deciding something, I feel it." These are live, embodied. They show that you're not commenting on a fixed image. You're engaged with a living person. That level of attention is rare. Rare attention feels intoxicating. But never overdose her on attention early. Short bursts, long pauses. Make your compliments like espresso shots, not milkshakes. If jealousy appears, translate it into clarity. When you see other men orbiting her, don't compete in noise. Compete in nerve. You'll hold your ground. Maintain your pace and speak to her in a channel no one else is using. Grounded truth. I get your appeal. I'm not in the mood to fight for inches. If you want real conversation, I'm exactly here. Then turn back to your drink, your friend, your center. The man who can stand alone without flinching is the man she keeps glancing at when the noise gets boring. Your solitude is not emptiness. It's a signal that your self-respect is intact. Now let's drill the practical sequence from first contact to date. You notice her. You approach within 3 seconds to beat hesitation. You open simply with grounded eye contact. You exchange a moment of presence before volleying anything clever. You make an observation that reveals calibration, something about her energy or a small detail. You watch her response. If she engages, you trade 2 or 3 lines that build a tiny world. A tease, a warm acknowledgement, a playful challenge. You decide quickly whether to cede logistics. I'm stepping out in a minute. Join me for a quick walk or give me your contact and I'll pull you for coffee that smells like trouble. You accept her choice with ease. If you get the contact, you send a message within a day that references your moment, then you lead to a plan. On the date, you move through space, keep your phone silent, and let your attention be the luxury it is. You alternate warmth and challenge, you calibrate touch, you leave before energy dips. You end with clarity. I like where this is going, I'm seeing you again. No chasing, no over-texting. You allow anticipation to breathe. Your grooming and style are part of the story you tell without words. Wear textures that invite touch and fits that frame your body. Keep your scent subtle, a hint that rewards proximity. Hands groomed, shoes clean, breath handled. Small details communicate self-respect. Self-respect is erotic because it promises consistency. Consistency is the foundation on which women safely surrender to the experience you lead. If you're chaotic with yourself, you'll be chaotic with her. Clean your room, sharpen your edges, reduce friction in your life. Seduction is cumulative signal. Everything you do either earns or erodes it. There will be moments where your nerves spike. Use them to demonstrate mastery. Slow your exhale to double the length of your inhale for 2 cycles. Drop your shoulders. Feel your feet. Speak after the pause. This micro-ritual recovers your presence in under 10 seconds. When you can regulate your state under pressure, you radiate safety and danger at the same time. Safety in your stability, danger in your willingness to move toward what you want. That combination is rare. Rare men don't chase, they create gravity. If what you've heard so far is hitting something inside you, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one. And if you know a brother who needs to hear this, someone stuck in the loop of over-texting, over-explaining, and over-apologizing, send this to him today. Don't keep it to yourself. Men starve not because they lack lines, but because they lack leadership. Leadership starts with the decision to stop begging for approval and start offering experience. So here's your reframe to carry into the next conversation you have with a woman you want. You are not there to win her. You are there to create a moment that tells the truth about who you are. You do that by slowing down, by watching her eyes, by choosing environments that bring out your best, by speaking with concise warmth, by teasing as if you're already familiar, by holding silence without fear, by making clean offers, and by walking away with dignity if the energy doesn't reciprocate. This is not theory, it's muscle memory you build through repetitions. Every time you act from abundance, you train your body to trust you. Every time you choose standards over scrambling, you raise your value in your own eyes. That is the core of attraction. A man aligned with himself. When the moment arrives, and it will, where she feels you and steps closer, don't celebrate like you won a prize. Breathe, smirk, and continue leading. Set the pace, honor the signals, escalate when invited, retreat when needed, and keep your frame steady. The mistake you will never make again is chasing validation. You will lead experience. From now on, your presence will be the most interesting thing in the room, not because it's loud, but because it's honest. And when a woman meets honesty wrapped in calm danger, she pays attention. If this has sharpened your edge, stay with me. Hit subscribe because we're just beginning to build your full arsenal. Voice, gaze, pacing, touch, logistics, boundaries, and the psychology that keeps you unshakable. Share your biggest takeaway in the comments so I can tailor what comes next to exactly where you are. And send this to the one man in your circle who needs to stop auditioning and start leading. The next time you step into a moment that matters, remember, you don't need permission. You set the frame. You offer the experience. You are the party.